Hi, Acres. It's Thursday. It feels like Friday, but tomorrow I'm going to be presenting to Royal Palm Coast Realtor Association on Lehigh Acres. So today is a cram day. It's a study day. It's a finals day. We're
Hey
getting
everybody,
ready to
it's
go and
Title
talk
Adam.
to
I'm in the
people.
house. I'm in
And
Lehigh
I'm getting
Acres.
an
It's
echo,
Thursday. It feels like
and we'll
Friday,
turn
but
that
tomorrow
down.
I'm
I'm going to be presenting to Royal Palm Coast Realtor Association on Lehigh Acres. So today is a cram day. It's a study day. It's a finals day. We're getting
everybody,
ready to
it's
go and
Title
talk
Adam.
to
I'm in the
people.
house. I'm in Lehigh
And I'm
Acres.
getting
Thanks for that.
and we're working through some echo. God, I tell you, it is so much fun to be working in streaming. But one thing I was telling Jade is that having the ability to sit in front of a microphone and a camera with unlimited attempts at getting something right, you can get very comfortable with that. And then when you're put in a situation where you've got to actually perform live, it's a little bit different. So we want to take some time and organize some thoughts. We want to talk a little bit about Lehigh Acres. If you hear me on here live, shout me out in the chat. Let me know that you can hear me okay. Otherwise, I'll just continue to talk and you'll continue to watch my mouth move. But the content that I'm going to share with you may be of value. Let's start out talking about Lehigh Acres. Lehigh Acres, we asked over 100 people locally where Lehigh Acres got its name, and we were told, well, we gave the options. Was it named after General Robert E. Lee? Was it named after the original owner and developer, Lee Ratner, who was the owner of Decon? Was it named that because it's the highest elevation in Lee County, or was it something else? And I wasn't really expecting the something else, but I did get a something else. I got somebody who said that Lee Ratner also owned D. Lehigh Cement Company and that he took the Lehigh out of that. But the general consensus is that Lehigh Acres got its name as a hybrid because Lee Ratner was the original owner developer. The property is located in Lee County, and it is the highest elevation in the county. And at a time when Lehigh Acres was originally developed, it was thought that, owning an acre in Florida was a marketing dream. And so these lots were subdivided, as you know, quarter acre, third acre, half acre, full acre. And that was kind of how it got its namesake, that you could own acreage in Florida. They would say that you could see the Gulf from the highest point in Lehigh, which I don't know. That was reaching it. That was before a lot of truth in advertising and truth in marketing was out. But safe to say, Lehigh Acres was developed using some very, very clever marketing campaigns. I know I watched a video that's on YouTube, and it's a great 35-minute watch. It's called Dreams for Sale, and it came out, I believe, maybe 10 years ago. And it talked about how Lehigh was developed and how it went through its boom, and then how it went in a bust. Thanks for the like. And how it went through a bust. And then now we look at it again and we go, my gosh, is history repeating itself? And it's tough to say. It's really tough to say. But what we do know is that we use that video, which is very well produced. We use that as a basis for our study. And we found that there was a lot of info in there, but in 35 minutes, you can't find out everything about Lehigh Acres. And so we've got a presentation that we're going to go through. I'm going to tighten everything up because I started this presentation in March. And now, as you know, the market has shifted and it's changed a little bit. So as we're talking, if you've got anything to add to it that I should be telling real estate professionals, the actual get caught up looking at myself on the camera here and I go, oh God. Well, the actual reason for the course is to tell real estate agents in Southwest Florida how to live, love, and sell in Lehigh Acres. And there is not a single property in Lehigh Acres that I cannot write title insurance for. That's true. And I'll be talking about that as well. Because the way that Lehigh Acres was originally developed set the stage for many, many title defects. All right. So when you think of title to a property, I want you to think about a chain link. All right. And that every time the title is transferred, there's a link, and that title then extends out. Right. And so you have a chain of title, which are the different owners over the years. Because of the way that Lehigh Acres was set up, and they used a lot of marketing gimmicks, i.e. $10 down, $10 a month, no payments for 90 days. The default rate on the fourth month was astronomical. So because of that, though, it created title defects and title issues that needed to be addressed. Now, every time that a property's transferred, we hope that a licensed insurance agent is going to look at that title chain and then correct it as needed to make sure that going forward, we've got a clear chain of title. No kinks, no broken links, no nothing. And sometimes there's properties out there that were platted in the 50s and that never transferred. And the owner died and their family didn't know that they owned it. And then it went to tax deed. And, so there's a lot of properties out there that have been assessed and insured and underwritten over the years, but there's also many that were not. And so when Lehigh Acres was developed, there was over 150, I think they said 150,000 lots, 150,000 parcels of property. And today, 90,000 of them remain vacant. That's the math I have. And I would love for somebody to kind of help me with that and tell me if that's right or not. But let's go and see. I wanted to show you what Lehigh looks like on the market right now. Okay. And I'm on Zillow, and I know everybody hates Zillow. It's fine. I hate them too. But they aggregate the data in a way. And the reality is, if you're doing real estate sales, then you may have access to the MLS and you may love that. And that might be great for you. But the average consumer is going where I'm going right now to look at these properties. And so I asked this morning on my Facebook, thanks to those that shouted me out, I said, who's got a listing in Lehigh Acres that I can talk about on my next live? And I had some responses, and I wanted to go through them. And I wanted to show you what's out there in Lehigh Acres. And this is the case for Lehigh Acres, is showing you what's available. Okay. But I do live and love out here. I moved out here after Hurricane Ian, and I found that the cost of living was much more reasonable. I had been priced out of paradise, so to speak. I found that the price of living was more reasonable. My car insurance did go up every month when I moved to Lehigh. It's true. I found that there are some nice parks to go to. I found that Harns Marsh Preserve, I'm looking at the map right now as I'm talking to you, and I go, gosh, you know what? Lehigh's a big area. Look at how it's set up too. It's set up almost like a triangular piece. And believe me when I tell you, when they platted this property, they left nothing on the bone. They made everything into a parcel. And so that's why I'm telling you, there's nothing in Lehigh Acres that I cannot insure or write title for. And my name is Adam, and I do title. They call me Title Adam. I'm the luckiest guy in Lehigh. But if you're buying, selling, building, refinancing, if you're doing a deal in Florida, tag in Title Adam, because it's real families helped, real commissions paid, real estate. Let's go. All right. Now, I just kind of came up with that this morning. I'm going to start using that before someone on my competition starts grabbing that. So I said, it's real families helped. It's real commissions paid. It's real estate. Tag in Title Adam. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's look at a couple of listings that are available from my friends in Lehigh Acres. And I also wanted to shout out Gus Vargo, who sent me some information. We'll talk about a community mortgage program that's based on the area, and most of Lehigh does qualify. He sent some information. We'll talk about it here in just a little bit. I want to go straight up. My boy JC's got one. He said, okay, you got to check out 607 Leo Ave North. And I got to tell you, I'm a Leo. 607 Leo Ave North. Let's take a peek. This is 33971. Okay. This is an interesting concept here in Lehigh Acres. Let's take a look at it together. It's a 3-bedroom property. It's listed by John Collin and Co. Great friend of mine, great real estate agent here in the area. He's actually the youngest broker owner in the state. If you want to challenge that, let me know, and we can look at the data together. Here's his deal. 7 photos. And now I'm a consumer, right? So I'm logging in and looking at this just like, It's got an interesting curb appeal. The elevation is really much more kind of West Coast. It really is different. It's not typical for the area. I am seeing more and more of this style, but it's definitely not your traditional ranch prairie style home. 3+. Okay, we got 3 beds, 2 baths, 1,675 square feet. Nice size home. And you can see it's new construction. New construction comes with its own benefits. It comes with everything that you're going to want. It's perfectly new. Everything is just right. And look at this. Look how well appointed it is. Now, I don't know if this is the actual property or if these are photos from another model. But let's take a quick peek. He's even got the floor plan in here. All right. Let's go back to the listing. This is in 33971. I want to take a look at the map here. Maybe. How do you find the map on here? 607 Leo Ave North. Three 971. Oh gosh, this is right. This is right here. All right. Okay. I see you here, what you're doing now. I did not realize that's where this was. Okay. So 33971, it's right by my office. Yes, you want this. You want this house. Lee Boulevard. Okay. Not quite to Mugs and Jugs. Look how close that is to the school. That's another thing we're going to talk about in the presentation on Lehigh Acres is the schools that are out here, where they're located. And you got to remember, as a real estate agent here, you can't talk about schools. You got school choice. It doesn't mean you can't tell them what schools are there, what their names are, and give them information. You just can't say, and this is from my understanding, you can't say, if you buy here, you'll go to this school. But look at this. Okay, so basically, Westgate, Alvin, there's actually quite a bit of development in this area. This is actually one of the hotter areas of Lehigh because it's right on the cusp of Fort Myers and Gateway. Now, when I look at this, I start smiling because in orange, I see Il Primo Pizza and Wings. It's actually right here, recently viewed, because we go there all the time. For wings and pizza. It is a great place to eat. You cannot leave a tip. You cannot tip there. And so you get an instant 20% discount on your food. It's in the Publix Plaza there at 82 and Lee. And that is, I claim that is Lehigh. I think that is Lehigh Acres. So this property of JC, it's over at 607 Leo Ave North. It's a new build. It is right off of Lee Boulevard. And you have over here at Gunnery, you've got some food truck action going on. You've got, look at this, Lehigh Seniors right here. The library's right here. Tortuga Preserve Elementary is right there. Oh my gosh. Premier Reputation Title is right there. So if you buy this house from JC, they're putting a coffee shop right here, and I will buy you a coffee. You can come and see me, and I'll walk right over here, and we'll have a coffee because they're building one right there next to the dollar store. Okay. Yeah, this is one to look at for JC. I would go back over to the listing. It's listed right now at $399, under $400,000. Okay. Reach out to John Collin and Co. He's doing a lot of really great things out there in the real estate market. And I think he's got a couple of other listings as well. He just wanted me to talk about that one. All right, let's see. Let's go. Next one up. Oh my gosh, Colleen Kennington. Let's go Wildcats. Colleen's awesome. Let's see. She's got one at 2724 3rd Street Southwest. And that's 33976. I believe for you realtors out there, that is going to be an LA06, if I'm not mistaken. Look at this beautiful. Oh my gosh. I'm going to type Colleen's name in this chat because this is a pretty one. Look at this now. It's just had a price cut. Just had a $20,000 price cut on May 1st. It's listed right now at $524,999. This is 2724 3rd Street Southwest in Lehigh Acres, 33976. 6 beds, 6 baths, 3,534 square feet. We're going to enjoy this one. It's got a 3D tour on it. Let's just go through and enjoy it. Now look at this Zillow profile and look at how she's got Wonderful photography. She's got a 3D dollhouse tour, which is awesome. If you're, if you're 1,000 miles away and you're sitting on the couch at midnight, this allows you to walk through this house. I can tell we're going to like this one a lot. All right. And it's not going to be for everyone because it's a big deal. It's a big deal. 525. All right. They're saying 3409 a month mortgage payment. Get pre-qualified. If you like a mortgage lender, let me know. I know all of the best ones. I'd be happy to set you up with one that can get you customized rate quotes. You don't have to go through Zillow Home Loans. You can support a local, talented, and licensed loan originator here right in Southwest Florida. There are a lot of great ones here that will help you. Call or text me if you need a referral. Please, I'd be happy to help you. All right. Colleen, what do you have here? You've got a single family residence. It was built in 1997. Can you believe it? Wow, it's coming up on its 30th birthday, and look how good it looks for 30. It's on a half-acre lot. It's got, well, we're asking $149 a square foot, and that is a really, really competitive number. And it probably is driven by the fact that not everyone wants a 3,500 square foot home or needs a 3,500 square foot home. I got to tell you, $149 a square foot for a half-acre lot. This has got my attention. Hopefully it has yours as well. Let's keep looking. No HOA fees on this one. And that's another benefit of Lehigh Acres that I'll be talking about with real estate professionals is, hey, listen, guys, we don't do, with the exception of a couple communities out there, we don't do HOA fees out here. We're not doing that. We're not doing the suffocation, the financial, just absolute death by HOA fees. It's ridiculous. All right. That's my rant. Price reduction. Here we go. I see we got a description. Let's go for it. Here we go. Price reduction. You know what? Before I do that, let me just tell you about something. When I got this voicemail last night.
My money's not in there yet. What is the problem?
Okay. I put that actually on a sound pad here because that was a voicemail I got from a customer after about 30, I think we said 41 seconds after they DocuSigned yesterday. They sent me that voicemail. All right. Welcome to this beautiful and spacious 6-bedroom, 6-bathroom estate home situated on a desirable corner lot in Lehigh Acres, surrounded by mature oak trees and fruit trees that create a private park-like setting. This impressive residence offers generous living space with a versatile floor plan ideal for large families, multi-generational living, or those who love to entertain. Enjoy oversized bedrooms, multiple living areas, abundant natural light throughout, and a spacious wraparound porch. This property's lush landscaping provides shade and tranquility, while the expansive yard offers endless possibilities for a pool, garden, or outdoor entertaining oasis. The corner lot location adds privacy and curb appeal with plenty of space for storage and parking and storage. Conveniently located near shopping, schools, dining, and major roadways, and just 25 minutes to RSW Airport, this rare opportunity combines space, comfort, and natural beauty in one exceptional home. Don't miss your chance to own one of Lehigh Acres' most unique properties, a true retreat with room to grow. And it really does have room to grow. Look at that. 97 days on Zillow, 657 views, 47 saves. It's a hot one. It's a hot one. Now let me show you where this one's at. See if we can blow up the map. Oh my gosh. Again, you're real close to me. I can tell you from looking at this, I can see my house from here. Okay. Now, this is a great area to be in. I love this area. All right. For those of you that don't know Lehigh, I'm going to tell you why. This is the area that I live in, this neighborhood I live in, and this is why I love it. All right. First of all, my office is right here. That's first. Second of all, you've got Gunnery, which is your north-south corridor. You've got Sunshine, which is a north-south. You've got Lee Boulevard right here. And you've got Homestead right here. Now, here's the other thing. This is Walmart. This is Walmart. This is Starbucks, somewhere around here. There's a Goodwill. There's an Aldi right here. This is HCA Hospital right here. This is Harns Marsh Preserve. You could get there in about 8 minutes from this house. And that has some of the most amazing views. I wonder if they would give you a street view from there. Wow. Look at that. That's pretty. That's really nice. You got sidewalks. You got lots of room, lots of green grass, trees. This is a really pretty listing. I'd be interested in going to see it just to put myself in the spot where everyone in my family would have their own space and their own room, and people would live in harmony. Look at this front yard. That is awesome. Colleen, you got a really pretty listing here. I would love to do the title on it because why not? It looks gorgeous. I'd love to welcome the new owner to their home on that one. That is a really pretty one. Let's take a look at some of the pictures on that one. I have to go back to it. Sorry. 2724. I want you to really look at this one again with me real quick. 2724 3rd Street. And I want to go through the photos in it because I think that that says a lot about the agent and it says a lot about the actual property. All right, let's take a peek. Oh, yeah. It's just got a classic look. Just got a classic look. You know, they don't make them like this anymore. They don't make them like this anymore. That is a pretty home. Look how stunning this is. I feel like I'm there. This is nice. I'm going to let, take a look around and see what I can find out. Clean, well cared for. This is very, very good condition. Oh, yeah. So again, when you get a home that was built like this, you've got different areas to live in. Look at that bay window. Look at that. Oh, that'd be great. This is cool. Sometimes I get lost in the sauce on these dollhouse tours. I go, oh, shoot. This is a big house. And like I say, 3,500 square feet. Yeah. I'm going to actually go back to the photos so that we can get, because like I said, I get kind of lost in the sauce. Let's take a look at the floor plan. So you're coming in, you walk into the entry, the living room, and it's a sprawler, guys. Look at how this is a sprawler. You go upstairs and you've got all of this upstairs. Colleen, I'd be really interested if you want to do an open house on this one. I'd be really interested in supporting that and sponsoring it because this is the kind of house that you could have this is a broker open property. In my opinion, this is where you could get 30 to 50 agents out there hanging out and looking and falling in love with this. This is a shiny penny property. This is one of those properties where people will look at it and say, oh, if I can't buy it, who do I know that can so that I can come over and hang out? Look at this. Now, I know that not everybody would like the wood walls. I know that. But the thing that I want to point out about it is that is clean. That is real wood. That is not just the pressed wood panels that you see in some of the older homes. That's real and that's clean and it's been taken care of. And I think that when you get one like that, yeah, maybe you do keep it. Maybe you do celebrate that original look. It's got ceramic tile in it, and you know that tile's been there and it's durable, but look how clean it is. This home has been well cared for. It's ready. It shows well, and I'd like to compliment it because that's a nice one. I'm sure that someone really loved this home and probably raised their kids in it and lived there for a long time. And you can see it's got all kinds of different living spaces in it. Now this one's listed at $524,900. And it just had a nice price reduction. It was at $550 or $544,900, I think. $20,000 price drop. So you got a seller here who wants to make a deal, but the reality is this is a lot of space, and you're getting it at $149 a square foot. Listen, that's amazing. That is a great deal. And the other thing that makes it a great deal is that it's not just that you're getting all the square footage so much that you're getting a large lot. You're getting a lot of property with it. Yeah. That's nice. I'm not a carpet guy personally because I have kids, but that is a nice looking shot of a master. And you've got a lot of natural light flooding into it. You've got plenty of room. You can see that the bed is ample and there's room to get around it in there. It's a nice size master. That is a nice photo. Good picture. I think overall it shot really well. This is where I'd be hanging out because I would put a little cooler right there with some brewskis in it, or maybe a fridge over here, brewski. And I would be hanging out in that garage. I like that. It's even got a ceiling fan in there, just keeping the air moving. Here's your aerial shot. You can see it's a sprawler, guys. I told you. You go up, you go in, you go upstairs, and then you got a whole wing upstairs. Jade, I don't know if you're watching this one, Jade, but if you are, I'd like to go see this one. God, that looks cool. And the size of the lot is nice too. The way that the home is tucked on the lot, you can see that they've got the sidewalk all the way around it, which is neat. And I believe that that's actually just their personal sidewalk because it doesn't connect. And that's even cooler because, you know, a lot of people would need the neighborhood to come in and say, no, we're going to put in sidewalks here. And they said, no, we want to do it. I bet that was a very costly improvement to have that put in. I bet it cost a lot of money to pour that sidewalk, but it's definitely a very nice property. Looks wonderful. And you should request a tour today. You should contact Colleen. And I want to see if I hit contact agent, if it will pull her up or if it pulls up some other agent. Let's see. Not contact a buyer's agent. Yeah. I want you to go directly to Colleen Kennington. She's at Sell State Advantage Realty. And I'd like for you to go to her and let her set up the showing and let her tell you about it because she's the one that knows about it. She's the one that listed it. She's the most qualified one to tell you everything you need to know about it. I love this neighborhood in this area, and I'm telling you, if you know that area, you're going to want to go check that out. The other thing is that I'm sure that home is on city water and sewer. I'm sure of it. So, but it may have a well for irrigation because that happens a lot of times in Lehigh as well. Cape Coral was kind of set up that way too. So you got your potable and your non-potable. That's a really nice one, Colleen. I'd like to give you some credit for that. Congratulations on that listing. Now look and see. Look at this though, guys. There's so much for sale in Lehigh Acres. There's so many opportunities for you. Let me see if I got another one in here from my friends. I had a few people shout out. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at Eileen Rodriguez. She's got one at 2603. So we've seen one now for $399 with JC. New construction. We saw one that's 30 years old, but just an absolute sprawler stunner for $524,999. Let's check out 2603. (36th Street). Now this is again in the hot spot. Yeah, Southwest. It's 33976. Now here we go, guys. Here we go. All right. Well, let's take a peek at this one together. I like this area. Anyone that knows real estate in Lehigh area or in Lehigh Acres knows that south of Lee, between Gunnery and Sunshine, all the way down to 82 is just a hot pocket. It has been for several years. Development is just great there. Now, that said, there are properties on the main ones on 23rd Street. There's on 8th, and I wouldn't touch them. And that's a tough place to be trying to sell because it's like a racetrack through there. But if you can get onto a non-main just off, you could find yourself in a really attractive spot. So let's take a peek at this one together. 329, 2603 36th Street Southwest in Lehigh Acres, Florida, 33976. This is Eileen Rodriguez shouting out. Make sure you touch base with her. She's got a nice cover photo here. She's got 17 photos on the listing. It's a 3.2, 1563 square feet. Listen, it's perfect. All right. Zillow estimates that it's going to be $21.56 a month. No HOA fees. It's a single family resident built in 2025. It's new. It's on a 1/4 acre lot, and they're asking $210 a square foot. All right. What's special? Covered lanai, soaring ceilings, sleek tile flooring throughout, impact windows and doors. Hey, impact windows and doors is a big deal. Now you've got my attention when you start talking about impact windows and doors. And the reason why is because we're right on the heels of storm season. We're right on the heels of some serious weather that could put a challenge to those windows and doors. And so when you've already taken the step of putting impact windows and doors in, you've given the buyer peace of mind. You've given the buyer maybe a lower homeowner's insurance premium, which is awesome. And you've given them a better quality of life because they don't hear everything outside. Okay. If you're in a busier area of town, they don't hear everything outside like they would with those jalousie windows or those older single hung windows. Here we go. Seller to contribute towards buyer's closing cost at closing. This is a great point. And it's, as a buyer, it's something that's going to get you hot right away. You go, okay, I like this. I can get down with the seller paying my closing costs. That could actually work. I could get with that. I'm down with that. Seller to contribute towards buyer's closing costs at closing. Modern, brand new luxury construction at 2603 36th Street Southwest in Lehigh Acres. This 3-bedroom plus den, 2-bath home offers soaring ceilings, impact windows and doors, sleek tile flooring throughout, no carpet, and a designer kitchen with a quartz waterfall island. We're going to want to see the picture of that, with a quartz waterfall island. The versatile den is ideal for a home office or gym. Enjoy the covered lanai, 2-car garage, and no HOA. Move-in ready, your modern oasis awaits. Photos with furniture are virtually staged, so we're going to take a look. Why wait? Schedule your tour today and make it yours. I want to shout out Eileen Rodriguez, 239-410-9888, Realty One Group MVP. Go MVP. All right. It's 184 days on Zillow, 61 views, 1 save. I want to go through this and say, I can tell you right now, if I had a 3+ den, the den would absolutely be an office. The den would absolutely 100% be a podcast setup office. It would be for nothing else. I want that, but I actually am thinking about getting an ADU. Because Lehigh allows that now. Now you can put an ADU in your backyard, and now you've got your guest house, you've got your casita, you've got your she shed, you've got whatever it is you want to call it. As long as you do it the right way, you can do that now, where it used to be a lot more restrictive. That's what I want to do for my studio setup, because now I'm talking about playing music as loud as I want to. I'm talking about doing what I want when I want. And that appeals to me. Let's take a look at the photos of this little beauty here. I like when an agent will do the virtual staging, and here's why. I'm not buying your furniture anyway, but by doing it, you allow me to kind of understand the dimensions of the space and further what I could put in there. Okay. Cause I'm going to want a blue couch in there instead of a white couch, but this allows me to see, okay, you've got plenty of room. You've got the big screen TV on the wall. It's kind of giving you an idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stools at the bar. This looks really nice. And you can see it is the tall ceilings. It's set up nice. I love the new construction in Lehigh Acres. I see a lot of this where the floor is now like just I don't know what you call that, but there's no grout, like a zero grout. Really pretty floors. Great elevation. We've seen this product. We know this product. This product flies off the shelf in Lehigh Acres. We see it all the time at the closing table. This is the house that people take their picture in front of after they close. I like how they've got it set up with the bump out here. Again, the virtual staging, I think, allows me to see you've got some great natural light coming in that room. And don't the floors just gleam? That is a white space. This is a pretty master. Again, you could see the transom window over the bed, which is going to give you some of that natural light. You don't feel so cavish, but yet you have your privacy. And then it looks like to be ensuite. So you've got the bathroom set up in there as well. This is what you want. We work hard. We go to work and we work hard, 8, 10, 12, 16 hours a day, whatever it is. And then when we come home, we want to have something like this that we can say, let me relax. Let me be at peace. Let me enjoy. And this looks very nice. Okay. kitchen, white, white, white. And then here you've got some that are non-virtually staged. See, I feel like with the virtual staging, I've got a better idea of what will fit in that space. So I would like to encourage real estate agents to do that, to do the virtual staging. I think it's cool. Love the pendant lights in the kitchen over the island. It's awesome. I don't know I want to try to find out what the quartz waterfall was, because I don't know what that means. A quartz waterfall island. She'll have to comment in the chat what that is. I don't know, but clean bathrooms, again, lots of bright light, and just nice and easy, just the way you'd want it. Just the way you'd want it. They've got an aerial shot in the photos, which I like, so that you can see what's going on around it. And looks like maybe another one's coming up just around the corner. That's Southwest Lehigh right now, though. It's hot. It's booming, man. The elevation, like I said, is the highest in Lee County. We're not talking about flood insurance out here. No, which allows you to qualify for more home. If you don't have the HOA fee and you don't have to pay flood insurance, oh gosh, you've got $300 to $400 freed up in your budget now. You can actually buy the home that's got enough space for everyone. Now, this is something that I would be curious to know if this agent made greened up the grass a little bit, because I see a lot of them that do that, and you go, that grass is brown today. But anyways, it looks great. Nice little backyard. Roof looks nice too, just brand new. That's the benefit of new construction, though. When you're buying new construction, $329, you're getting, the builder warranty. A lot of them are throwing in closing cost concessions. They're helping you out in different ways that make home ownership attainable and fun. And it looks like we got a covered lanai here, which again, as we approach that rainy season, sometimes it's nice to have an outdoor area that's not open to the elements, so that you could grill, you could chill, you could do whatever you want. This is a good listing. I would encourage you to reach out to her. I'll see if I can get back to her contact information. Yeah. Eileen Rodriguez, 239-410-9888, Realty One Group MVP. And this is courtesy of the Florida Gulf Coast MLS via Zillow. Let's take a look at where this one's located. Connie and 40th. All right. So for this one, the play for me is you're going to be coming out really close to Sunshine and 40th, which is nice. So depending on where you're at in town, you're going to be using a lot of the new development that's coming up on 82. They're getting ready to start building a lot of great stuff down here on the south, which is going to service this whole area here. And it's going to be a great time for those people that are down there. So believe me when I tell you, buying in this area is really nice, because like here at Daniels in 82, somewhere around here, we've got some big box store chains coming up that are going to give you Home Depot, I believe. I believe you might have some kind of grocery store coming in there. There were a lot of different ones vying for space. And as you can see, you would be coming in probably 82 in Sunshine, comes Sunshine straight up to 40th over to Connie. And look in here, you're on a nice little dead end street. So you don't have that through traffic that maybe if you were on 40th, if you were on 23rd, if you were on 8th. Like, I have friends that are trying to sell property on 23rd Street Southwest, and it's just so busy. It's so busy. But to show you what I think is a hot spot right now, in just my opinion, one of my favorite little spots is this. You go Lee Boulevard between Sunshine and Gunnery, go all the way down to 82. That is a hotbed for new construction. It is just a great spot. I think people are still finding some deals on buildable lots out there. And it's where it's located. I showed you everything up here around Lee, and it's solid. And then, like I said, you got everything over here in this area. And they're going to, like today, if you live over at Homestead in Alabama, you're coming over here to do your shopping. But as they develop, they're going to start coming down here. And all of these people that are out here in the boonies of Lehigh, so to speak, are about to get a lot of benefit, a lot of value, and a lot of different services that they don't have today or that they've not had access to. Lehigh Acres is a huge area. It's broken into 8 geocodes, LAO1 through LAO8. And it depends on where the property lies. It's not necessarily zip code driven, but when we look at Lehigh and we see that when it was developed in the 50s, there was definitely a focus and concentration on the downtown. And that's where the most of the growth is. And that's why you see now there's infill going on. And then there's, development on the fringe where you see me circling around here, where I'm coming over Columbus and we're still seeing building out that far out, believe it or not. And we can't be so selfish to think about Lehigh Acres to just picture only the 123,000 residents there. Okay. Lehigh Acres real estate is important to people that are far west, and it's important to people that are far east, and it's important to people that are south. And if you knew the numbers of how many people actually travel through Lehigh Acres every day to commute to or from Fort Myers, to or from Hendry County, Lehigh Acres is important. And it also sits at the top of more development that's sprawling eastward via Corkscrew Road. So we're seeing that people that work in this area, people that live in this area, and people that have watched the investment that's coming into this area are all very interested in Lehigh Acres. We have a couple of big names in Lehigh Acres that have staked their claim, and that has let us know that there must be something going on. Okay, we've got Starbucks. When we got Starbucks, when we got Chipotle, when we got the second Culver's coming in, that's right. We got another Goodwill coming in. I mean, yeah, you got the dollar store stuff that Lehigh Acres always gets razzed for, but we've got big names. McDonald's is going to build a second location across from my office on Lee Boulevard. Now, all of a sudden, you've got companies that have spent millions of dollars in demographics, millions of dollars in market research and studies, millions of dollars in crystal ball investment to know that we should park our money in Lehigh Acres because the money's there. People are moving. People are just like I was. People are getting priced out of paradise, and they're moving from west of 41 to west of 75 to Lehigh. And I have to tell you that if you haven't spent time in Hendry County, it is an awesome spot. If you want to be a pioneer and if you want to go out there and start selling real estate, start investing in real estate, start doing it yourself, Hendry County is definitely going to be where the sprawl continues in the next maybe couple decades, my opinion. But I have already seen Hendry County light up. And in my perfect world, I would open another office in LaBelle. I would open another office in Clewiston, and then I would keep marching straight over to West Palm Beach, and I would strangle the competition. I really would. I'd say it like this.
My money's not in there yet. What is the problem?
What is the problem? That was funny. All right, you're rocking with Title Adam in the house. I'm doing a quick live stream today, just kind of talking about Lehigh Acres. I wanted to find out schools in Lehigh Acres, Florida, because I'm going to talk about that. Let's go to Great Schools and check them out. In Lehigh Acres, Florida, which is a city in Lee County, Florida, this is per greatschools.org. There are 27 preschools, 11 elementary schools, 8 middle schools, 6 high schools, 14 public district schools, because, right, 2 public charter schools, and 21 private schools. There's a total of 37 schools in Lehigh Acres. I think that's something I'll probably want to write down. And that number changes, but let's say 27 preschools, 11 elementary schools, 8 middle schools, 6 high schools, 14. Okay, I don't care about that. 2 charter and 21 private. 37 total schools. Okay. Top rated schools in Lehigh Acres based on a variety of measures. Shout out if you've got a kid going to one of these, or if you're an alum. Maybe somebody's watching this that went to Lehigh Acres Elementary or Mirror Lakes Elementary School, got a 6 out of 10. Wow. 1,260 students at that elementary school. That is a lot, man. I went to Bonita Springs Elementary School. I bet we had 300, 250. I don't know. It was a very small school. 1,200 students. That's like my high school. That was like Estero High School in 98. Wow. Manisser, Harns Marsh Elementary, Veterans Park Academy for the Arts. Shout out. G. Weaver Hips Elementary School. Shout out G. Weaver Hips. Lehigh Elementary School, Sunshine Elementary School, Tortuga Preserve Elementary School. We said Mirror Lakes. Harns Marsh Elementary, yeah. Gunnery Road Christian Academy, Harvest Christian Academy, Maranatha Private School. Unrated. Tortuga Preserve Elementary's got a 1 out of 10 below average rating, and that's actually sad because I'd be curious to know. It's got 20, that's what's weird. It's got 20 4-star reviews, but yet it's a 1 out of 10. Oh, you know what? Like, look at this. Students per teacher, 14-1. That, okay. 1,100 students there. My God, that's a lot of people. That is a lot of students. Sorry for all the ads on my screen here, but that's what they're giving us. So that's your elementary schools. Middle schools, we've got Harns Marsh Middle, Lehigh Acres Middle, East Zone Middle School, Varsity Lakes Middle, Veterans Park Academy for the Arts, Gunnery Road Christian Academy, Harvest Christian Academy, and Maranatha Private School. So those go, must run up through high school then. And then let's see the high schools. High school, shout out if you're a Lehigh Acres high school graduate from one of these schools. Lehigh Senior High School. That's the Lehigh Lightning. That's where my 2 boys are finishing up their high school career. Juliet graduated there as well. They've got 2,600 students enrolled there, 19 students per teacher. And East Lee County High School, DJB Technical Academy, Paul Makers Charter High School, Gunnery Road Christian Academy. And so Gunnery Road Christian Academy and Harvest Christian Academy, they run from, K-12. Got a lot of schools out here. Got a lot of schools in Lehigh Acres. That's something that they'll continue to build. I think that there's talks for more schools to come, and some of that is hotly debated. But it's no joke. When you see how many students per teacher, you can see that we need more schools. People love living here, and they're bringing all kinds of students in. That's our community. That's where we live and love. It's Lehigh Acres. I'm showing you on the map. I'm showing you, if you didn't know Lehigh Acres, I think you'd want to know, look how close the airport is. And that's a big deal because that's an international airport. That's not a puddle jumper. That's not Page Field. That is an international airport that can take you far, far away from here, with a lot of different airlines landing every day in there and taking off. And it's a beautiful airport. It's had a lot of money spent on it, and it's going to grow. I think into 2040, there's quite a bit of money that's being parlayed into expansion because we just got more and more people that want to come here. You can see our proximity to 75, which carries us all the way up and down through the state of Florida. So look at that. We're close to all this water, but we're far enough away that we're a good 20 to 22 feet elevated above sea level. And that's a big deal because one day Lehigh Acres may be beachfront property. You know that? It's funny to say it. I've lived here for a long time, and I'm sure that we have lost a little bit to the rising sea levels, but it's hard to imagine Lehigh Acres could one day be waterfront. And I think it's safe to say that elevation in Florida is important. It's more important than a lot of people want to admit. But in the coming years, and as things get more built and infrastructure gets built out in the East, you're going to find that this is the perfect place to be. I love it out here. You have access on the north side of Lehi. It's another thing to talk about is you have access to the Caloosahatchee River. Look at how the Caloosahatchee River runs from Lake Okeechobee all the way out past Moorhaven, and it just follows our road at 80 all the way down, and then empties out in Fort Myers into a bigger basin. This is a special part of Florida because as much as we love this waterway, it brings red tide all the time. When the rains start and Lake Okeechobee fills up with water, they have no choice but to release it. When they release it, it dumps all of that fertilizer water down this river, and then it becomes an algae bloom, and then that strangles the fish and the marine life, and then that stuff starts stinking in the hot sun. So as much as we love it, we have to take care of that resource. We have to ensure that that doesn't become a liability to the property owners here in Southwest Florida, in Lee County. We want to make sure that this waterway stays clean and that this waterway supports healthy marine life. It's really important, man. But look at this. This is another cool thing that I'd like to point out. When you look at Lehi Acres, there's 2 points that I want to point out to you. I like to get out and walk around with Jade, and if we had a dog, we would be out walking it all the time. I'm a big fan of Hearns Marsh. Hearns Marsh is a preserve that has a trail all the way around it, and it takes, I believe it's 4.5 miles total. Take you about an hour and 15 minutes at a good clip getting around it, and you will see birds, you will see bugs, you will see snakes. I've seen all kinds of different wildlife. I've seen armadillos out there. I've seen raccoons out there. It is just, unfortunately, a spot where we squeeze all of the wildlife. And we tell them you can't be where you were, you got to go here. So we end up seeing some pretty spectacular wildlife at Hearns Marsh Preserve. But look how big that is. Now, the thing is that Hearns Marsh Preserve was purchased as a way to manage the water in Lehi Acres. So it is government owned, but they've got it open to the public where you can go out there. You could fish there, you can hike there, you can just relax there, you can do whatever you want. It's an awesome place, and the neighborhoods around it are awesome. So if I was building a home, I would want to buy one of the lots that was right up against Hearns Marsh. I would buy one of these. But I have to tell you that the cell phone signal sucks up here. So I might not like living up here, but that is definitely an area that I would love to border. And here's Sunshine Boulevard. Now, that's Hearns Marsh. But this is another one over here on the other side of town. This is at Greenbrier and Joel. And this is the Frank Mann Preserve. Now, the Frank Mann Preserve is huge. And before it gets too rainy in the summer, you got to go before it gets too wet. And you can hike around there and really see a lot of special stuff as well. You can also drop a kayak or canoe in there and paddle around if you want. We see people doing it all the time. It is a very nice preserve that, I gotta be honest with you, I don't think a lot of people take advantage of. And unfortunately, the ones that have been taking advantage of it that I had heard were a bunch of dudes playing in the trees together. So be careful anytime you go to a place like that, because you never know what you're going to walk up on. But that is a place where you should be able to go and really enjoy yourself and get back to nature and not be so far away from home. You didn't have to go very far to get there. There are some really special properties in Greenbrier also that border up to that. But this is also maybe a little bit more wet area up here. So do your due diligence, caveat emptor, if you will, buyer beware. Funny that they have idle speed manatee protection zone down here in the middle of the canal. Now, we also know a project has been discussed and funded, and I want to talk about this as well with Lehi Acres, is that they're doing a pedestrian path that is supposed to go from here at Lehi Acres Park all the way up this canal, all the way to Harns Marsh. And that's going to be so cool because we're talking about an expanded pedestrian path that will be wide enough for pedestrians to walk and jog on, for bikes to ride on, electric scooters, skateboards, I believe. And, I don't know who's got a Segway. You could probably get on one of those on there. They're going to put that path together. And again, it will come down to the citizens of Lehigh Acres to police that and to keep that clean and from becoming something where unsavory acts occur, if you will. And, Lehigh Acres, the whole community is like that. It takes a village and we got to protect it. And if you see something, say something. If you drop something, pick it up. Don't leave your trash around my neighborhood. And there's nothing wrong with being the better person and picking up trash if you see it out here in Lehigh Acres. We've all got to do our part. It's a special area. Now, the other part that, and I'm all over the place with this, but the other part about Lehigh Acres is that you've got two different camps out here. Now, I told you I live in LA06 with Jade, and we are on city water and sewer, and we love that. But if you're a new build, you're almost definitely going to be on well and septic. And you'll love that too. So here's the deal. If you're not aware of this kind of stuff, if you're on city water and septic, you have zero issues with sulfur smell. You certainly can, and I believe you should soften or reverse osmosis your water. I don't trust the stuff that they pump through the pipes, but you can drink it. If you have well, then you have to soften the water. You need to add salt. There's some staining that can happen to your clothes and to the side of your house from the sprinklers and all of that. But here's what it really comes down to. There are many, many months that I would consider hauling salt and putting it in a softener versus paying a water bill, because we have a big family and we use a lot of water, and water is very expensive. It's crazy to pay water, but you are. And when you're running your water on city water, you go, okay, well, you got to pay for sewage. You got to pay to get rid of that water. And when you're on well, you have a septic. And you got a different problem that when that fills up, you got to call somebody to come and fill it, or empty it rather, but you don't have a water bill. So you may not have a choice. If you fall in love with a house and it's on well, you're going to buy it. If you fall in love with a house on city water, you're going to buy it. But the cool thing about the city water houses, and this is a lot of times in Cape Coral's the same way, is you go, well, I'm on city water, but I've got a well for irrigation. And that's included in my water bill. Now that's the key. That's the key, because you want to have that so that you can water and get that lush garden. You can get everything you need. Now, currently my well pump is burned up and I'm seeking a replacement of it, but we have that and we will use that because that water is there. And don't forget, we're built on top of a huge aquifer. So we're built on top of water. We've got to be good to it as well, but you can use your fair share. And I'm a proponent for that. I say if I have a well and I pay to run the pump on it and I pay for sewage, then I should be able to run that to water my garden. And we love to garden. And so that's something that we would look at, but not everybody's going to have that. And so if you move into a place with city water, you might be watering with, you might be paying a lot of money to water. And let me just tell you, if you're going to do that, it is very expensive. Ask me how I know. Looking at the overall view of Lehigh Acres, generally speaking, when I see people coming in, a lot of times they're coming in right here at Colonial and 82. That's the mouth of Lehigh. That's getting you out. It's getting you eastbound and down, westbound rather. Okay. At this intersection, you've got a Publix Plaza. You've got Scooter's Coffee just opened up outside of Olympia Point. And then at this Alvin Avenue, I believe they put a brand new 7-Eleven. There's, I think, Zaxby's is there. There's a nice little hub there as well. And then Westminster is a golf club here. And that is an HOA. So for those that want the HOA, they can go there to Westminster Golf Club and they can take a look at properties available in there. And if you need a realtor to show you those, just give me a call. Call me or text me and I'll set you up with somebody that can give you what you need. A couple of really great parks here. I spend my time at Veterans Park. I go to Veterans Park all the time. I love it out there. That again, though, is in my neighborhood because I live over here. So I'm in this area here and I work here. But there's so much more to Lehigh Acres than just LA06. There really is. Buckingham, you start getting up into different areas. And again, you can get out here and you can get out to some bigger lot sizes. See how these lots are a little bit bigger? Uh-huh. Yeah. And even in some of these other areas where they're quarter acre lots, there's nothing wrong with buying two side by side, combining the strap and having a half acre lot. You can do that kind of stuff out here. The inventory exists to do it. The truth is, you could come in and buy a block still. The golden days of Lehigh Acres where it was $10 down and $10 a month, guys, they're not that far away. There's still a lot of really great opportunity out here to buy and hold, to buy, strip the meat off the bone and resell, to buy and build a spec, build a home for someone, and they will buy it from you. I want to update my multiple listing stats before my presentation, but I like to think that the inventory for single family homes in Lehigh Acres is probably running somewhere right around 1,600. Last time I asked Jade, she said it was right around 1,600 single family homes for sale in Lehigh Acres. That's new construction and resales. And from a price per square foot, I'd be curious to look at what that hybrid is as well, because, there was a time where we were seeing a price per square foot running well over 200, 220, 240, 260. And I showed you opportunity today in Lehigh Acres with Colleen Kennington that was 149 a square foot on a half acre. I'm going to tell you to check that one out. I showed you with John Collin where he's got one where he's showing you brand new construction, modern vibe, $399. And then I showed you another one from MVP Realty that had a stellar new construction option there as well and had just been reduced. The 3.2 is a hot product out here. The 3.2 is a hot product. I definitely wouldn't want to be somebody trying to sell a 2.1. I definitely wouldn't want to be someone trying to sell a 3.1. You need that second bathroom. You've got to have a second bathroom. And so the people that are struggling, what they're having to do is they're having to price according to the market, which is to say it's not always price per square foot. Because if you've got a product like that where there's something weird, unpermitted improvement on it, something where you don't have that second bathroom, then maybe you've got to actually price it a little bit more competitively. And hey, look, my name is Adam and I do title. I'm not a real estate agent. I am a real estate agent, but I'm not an active one. I let the pros do that. I jump in when it goes under contract and you're ready for me to validate the chain of title, when you're ready for me to make sure that you've got a bona fide true seller, you make sure that you've got a buyer that is able and vetted to close the deal, and to make sure that you could transfer the title effectively and without errors. That's when I jump in and I help tie it up. And I'm generally speaking, I'm the last man standing. I'm the one at the closing table that says, congratulations, welcome home, or see you later. And I love that part. I love to be the one to put a ribbon on it at the end and to do the deal. I love to do it in Lehigh Acres where I live. I love to do it where my kids go to school. I love to do it where I have my customers running up to me not running up, but walking up to me in Publix or in Starbucks or in Aldi and saying, hey, how you doing, man? I got a question about real estate. I need a good mortgage person. Who do you know? Can you get me in? And I love that, man. I love doing it. And I did mortgages for many years. And after I did mortgages, I left the mortgage business because I was frustrated that people were paying cash. And so I went to go sell real estate and cut out the middleman. And I did it just incredibly well, but I did not do well managing my business, and I did not do well managing my money as a real estate agent. And I'm man enough to say that it is a tough business. The feast and famine was absolute murder. And with having children, I had to have benefits. I had to have a way that I could provide steadiness, and stability was more important than getting rich. And in my 40s, I realized it's not happening that way, okay? So I love working in that area. So I went from mortgage to real estate, and then from real estate, I got into title 4 years ago, and I'm going in my 5th year, and I love doing it. And I can apply every closing I've ever sat in. I've closed thousands of deals as a mortgage lender. I've closed hundreds as a real estate agent, and I've closed hundreds now, approaching 1,000 on title insurance. And I can take every single one of those experiences, and I can take every story like this one. Remember this story I told you?
My money's not in there yet. What is the problem?
I can take that experience that I had yesterday and I can apply it to make sure that the next deal I do has less friction, has less burrs on it, has less barriers to closing and funding. I can make sure that I'm better and stronger for you. And so if you're buying, selling, building, refinancing, if you're doing a deal in Florida, you got to tag in Title Adam, because it goes like this: real families helped, real commissions paid, real estate. Tag in Title Adam. Have a great day. I've got to go because we're going to continue planning for this presentation tomorrow. I'll give you feedback on it, but I keep telling myself, if I get through that, all right, by 10 a.m. tomorrow, I'm ready for a holiday weekend. I've got my business in check. I got my files opened up and ready to go. All of my customers are updated, and I'm ready for a happy and safe Memorial Day weekend. I hope that you are too. And I'll be sure to give you updates. Hey, if you've got a listing in Lehigh Acres that you want to talk about with Title Adam, you just let me know. My cell phone number, 239-888-5757. Have a great day.